Welcome back, Fantas, to another wonderful episode of Kenan and Kel with Adam and Aaron. My name is Adam.
My name is Aaron.
And we are to talk to you all about Kenan and Kel, the 90s Nickelodeon sitcom. Especially one episode in particular, Season 2, Episode 5, Haven't Got Time for the Paint.
This episode is all about releasing our artistic expression and then, of course, trying to make a profit off of it.
I think that's a very good follow-up to our past few episodes getting really philosophical and in-depth, looking at the art of this program.
Well, I mean, this is art, right? This TV show is art. The cool thing about artists is all artists do is they create things, right? And that's what happens in this episode.
Three big creators on the writing team for us. It's the classic trio of Dan Schneider, Kevin Coppolo, and Heath Seifert. We're
happy to see them back, even though season 2 has been going pretty well without them for a couple times, right?
Yeah. They set up a good engine here that's running just fine. But when the three of them get together, magic usually happens.
That's right. I think we have some magic this episode. At the very least, we have some art made. So let's jump into it. We hop on the big orange couch or big red couch. Which one are we calling it?
Big orange couch.
Big orange couch, of course.
Yep. After, of course, your Dan Carlin style intro.
Imagine you're an anthropologist or paleontologist, I'll let you find out the difference, and you're out excavating a newfound set of caves. On the wall of the cave, you see something no human has seen for a long time. Paintings, clearly done by some distant human being. You spend a moment in awe, recognizing that this was painted by a fellow Homo sapien, anatomically indistinguishable from yourself. These paintings may date back tens of thousands of years, back into the Upper Paleolithic era. You wonder who the artist was and what became of their ancient existence. It's no doubt that art plays a unique role in the human story. Not only is it a way for people to express themselves, to unite communities together, and to honor their gods, art stands the test of time. A lot of things can be classified as art, like the Great Pyramids of Egypt, the famous Van Gogh paintings, and that mug you made in ceramics class. Even, maybe, a 90s Nickelodeon sitcom featuring two high school best friends in Chicago, Illinois. Art has no one definition, but all art has the potential to stir emotions up within people and within tribes. Now, there's a not so clear distinction between good art and bad art, but professional art collectors can somehow tell the difference. It's their job. While your mug isn't considered a masterpiece, Starry Night surely is. Good art has a lot of moving pieces to it. There's a lot of factors that go into it. But one of those is most definitely the clout of the artist, the painter that makes the piece. While it's hard to pinpoint what makes art good, it's even harder to make good art. So once somebody does it, they're in the game. Well, making good art seems to come easy for one of our friends in this Chicago duo. For a brief moment in time, Cal Kimball has promise of being a real artist, a true painting professional. By our standards, he seems to have no problem making beautiful art. Let's just see what the critics have to say about his work.
So yeah, it's they're after the theme song, they literally sit down to enjoy the art of the show.
Brilliant. And so yeah, we're painting the canvas of we have the backdrop of the intro, right? That's our base color, and then we start to paint on Kenan and Kel. Kenan's wearing an outfit that we've seen before.
And not a very fresh palette in their wardrobe.
No.
Well, at least for Kenan.
No, not for Kenan. Kenan's wearing that polo shirt with the white collar and the light blue and dark blue, like giant checkers, like giant squares. And then Kel is wearing a gi with an orange belt and an orange hat.
I'm glad you got the name correct.
Oh, I know my martial artists out there, so got to get it right.
Yes, Kel, I love his something I wanted to note for this episode. His hats always match like the two tones of his outfit, which is crazy. He must have the combos of hats. They must have like a hat person on set that like will like combo those hat colors.
I feel like they just stole his hats from like other sets where people are like dressing up in costumes.
Well, yeah, but this one it's orange and like the ghee white color,
Yeah.
or like the off whites.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That's the underbrim.
The orange matches his belt color and probably also his favorite color of soda.
That's his color and the color of Nickelodeon. It's no wonder they chose orange soda, right?
Yeah, right. I also want to say that Cal is about to exhibit some of his karate skills, and an orange belt in karate, it represents the like kind of the second level. It's like white is entry color, orange is like you've passed the first test. So
Right. And
he's
this is
a bit of a novice.
This is karate, not a real martial art.
Whoa, hang on. I'll take some words with that. I think I have an orange belt in karate.
Well, that's pretty cool, Adam.
Yeah,
It can really get you pretty far.
I took it as a physical fitness credit in college.
Oh, wow. I wish I had a physical fitness credit.
Oh, you didn't get one?
No, we didn't have that at my fancy liberal arts school.
Yeah, it was great because I would go like first thing in the morning, and then after that I'd go to the gym. It's probably my most active like semester physically.
Yeah, all of my semesters were active on running around the track every single day. So,
What I'm saying is that I could probably take this Cal in a fight.
well, I mean that's saying a lot. I mean he is a karate man. He also refers to himself as a grunt man, and he starts grunting. I think that's right.
There's a certain word that for that kind of karate blast of energy. I didn't get an A in the class. I can't tell you what the word is.
I didn't know it was a special word. That's
It's
good.
a busy semester.
Come on. What did you get? What was your grade?
It's probably like a B plus.
Oh my god, it's karate.
I know. I took a B plus so I could get like not a D in other classes.
Right.
Engineering's hard.
I understand.
He shows off some karate skills that he does some poses and some moves, and he tempts Kenan to come grab him.
And so Kenan walks over to him and gives him a big bear hug and lifts him off the ground, to which Kel is kind of frustrated. He's like, not like
He's
that.
like, what am I doing wrong?
Kenan very easily is much larger and much stronger than Kel. No offense, Kel.
Cal wants another piece of him and tries to get him to punch him in the nose, which Kenan refuses to do.
Yep, and then Kel wants to show off. He wants to show off a move that he's been mastering. It's a back kick with a jimma jabba twist.
Yeah, this the jibber jabber twist. I believe is just a roundhouse kick.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. So, anyways, Kel, luckily for us, the Fantas out there, he demonstrates this kick even though Kenan doesn't want to see it, and he ends up kicking the camera, and then we get a really phenomenal special effect of a broken camera screen that looks like a couple like scribbled lines from MS Paint.
Yeah, he's got some MS Paint lines and he cracked the lens.
Some gray lines.
Fortunately, that does not impede on the rest of the show. It's filmed just fine. Kenan rushes Kel off stage and tells him to giddy up, Paco.
Hiya! And then Kel's like, hey, don't tease the karate man. Like, Kenan, you're getting me all disoriented. And then that leads us into the episode. Here we go.
I want to say that I've been liking the season 2 intros a lot better than the season 1s.
They have a really good rhythm to them.
They've got no duds. They know what they're doing, and they're still pulling like new stuff out. Although, didn't they have like break a cinder block in a previous one?
I don't know, but they definitely have like been doing some good stunts.
I do want to say as well, the second point, as Kel runs away, he does like a la-da, like a la-di-da pose.
Yeah, like I have a feeling.
Blink and you miss it.
I have a feeling that the intros and the outros are the audience's favorite part, because that's like when they're being engaged with the most.
Yeah, I agree. I have something to say about the outro to this one. It is phenomenally insane.
We will talk about it. Don't worry. We'll get there. But first, we are brought behind the red curtain to what looks like an art classroom in high school.
Yes. This might be one of the first times we see them in high school.
Yep.
in like actually class, and their art teacher is talking all about the glories of paint. she she doesn't have any other characteristics.
That's it.
She doesn't exhibit any other forms of art appreciation. It's all paint with this lady.
Paint from your hearts and your souls.
Yeah. Pretend your name is Painty McPaint. We also meet one of Kenan and Kel's classmates for the first time.
Janet.
Yes. And Janet is very uppity, I think is the word for it, right?
Uppity. No. Great word,
Yeah.
Great word, Adam.
She's very kind of posh and snooty.
Posh and snooty.
Well, you can't do it for every word.
I'm sorry. Getting carried away. Yeah, but anyways, Kenan starts like talking about painting, and Janet goes, can you please be quiet? I can only paint inside, or I need to pay attention or something. And then Kenan snaps back at her like, oh, I'm Janet. I can only paint in utter silence. Something along the lines of that.
Yeah, so she gets some dirt thrown back at her, but it's nothing that she doesn't like earlier prompt.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's in charge of the provoking.
Kel arrives. He has got more red paint. And as he inspects Janet's painting, he gets a big ol' red paint splatter on her shoulder.
Yeah, his hand has red paint all over it. So it was bound to happen if you saw it coming.
I'm surprised they're not wearing like more than they got like smocks on, right?
Right.
Oh, do they?
Some of them have aprons. Some of them have like jackets. But yeah,
Did you ever do like painting in your high school class?
I never did painting. I did related arts, not like studio art.
Yes, same. Well, I had a studio art course, but we didn't get that far with the paints.
Yeah, painting on a canvas. That's pretty like high level. Those are expensive.
They got a good like art budget in their school.
Yes, they do.
It's time to kind of show off their paintings.
Yep. So Kenan goes first, as his teacher asks him to, and he doesn't really want to show it, but he goes ahead, and yeah, he shows it. It is a bunny rabbit, and everybody starts laughing
because it's very it's misshapen, as someone points out.
Kenan then goes to explain the painting a little more, as if a bunny rabbit on a canvas isn't explanatory enough or whatever. He says it's a bunny rabbit playing a trombone sitting on an avocado, which is just a great description. Not a carrot, a trombone.
I want to say that this is a bad painting, like scripted, and someone in the art like direction for the show like put it in front of Kenan, and Kenan just kind of riffs on the stuff in it.
Yep. Exactly.
The art professor, even after hearing that description, thinks it's very uninspired.
Yep, she does not like it.
Now, then we see Janet's painting, which I personally think it's worse than Kenan's.
Yep. Well, I think this is actually Janet is like the nerd, right? And this kind of just shows how some nerds have no touch with creativity.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't have any of that artsy side.
She's got nothing. It's all brains and lines on a notebook and chemistry.
No heart.
No heart.
Yeah, so her painting is, as she calls it, flower in a pot of soil.
It's just an awful name.
For the awful, it's like a third grade level of just basic colors and basic like patterns. And Kenan does a very good job calling it out.
Yep.
He says, "You should have called it Janet in a pot of no talent." Oh.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, just Kenan making sure that his isn't the only painting that's made fun of, which is, good for him.
Yeah. Then I think they get ready to make fun of Kel's painting.
Everybody's ready. Everybody's rearing up, rearing ready to go. And then Kel shows his painting, which is called Sunset Funset.
And it is a pretty, a pretty decent beachside scene.
Yep, you can see the pink and orange sunset falling over the horizon. We got some palm trees and some like bushes, and it's a really nice painting for Kel.
If I was like renting a shore house, I would expect to see this on the wall.
Precisely.
And it's pretty neat. And so yeah, everyone's very impressed, including their art teacher. Well, I'll get back to that in a sec. And yeah, he's just kind of showing off his ease with a paintbrush. Kel picks it up and accidentally paints over Janet's glasses.
Yep, yeah, he paints blue paint over her glasses, and it's a good moment because nobody likes Janet. Not even, no, really nobody.
Yeah, I don't think she has any redeeming qualities later on either.
No, I don't. From what I remember, she does not.
So
she's like a bad Mindy Crenshaw in Drake and Josh.
Oh yeah, that's a great way to put it. Mindy's a much more refined Janet.
She has much better character.
From Drake and Josh. So yeah, we go on to the next scene.
Yep. So we go to a scene that we do remember and we are familiar with. Rigby's.
Kel brings off his painting that he's still showing off. And this is really, I thought, a funny low-key joke. He says that he got a B+ on the painting.
Yeah. Like, what was the teacher expecting?
This episode like spins off of how great his painting is. And like his art teacher who loves paints gives it just a B+.
How do you grade art? That's my I'm actually like, so I'm assigning a bunch of projects as a biology teacher. So like, projects that aren't really typically biology projects. But like, yeah, I'm in the place now where I'm about to like grade people's creative work. And I'm like, how do I do this? Is there like a rubric? Like, how do I go about that? But
yeah, it's a tough deal.
I'll give everybody a B+. I'm just kidding.
Okay, so maybe it's early in the semester. And she gives him a B+ because he has room to improve.
Yeah, everybody has room to improve.
Yeah, they continue kind of smack talking Kenan's painting of a bunny, which Kel insists that looks diseased.
Yep, a diseased bunny. It looks like it came out of a blender. It's another one.
Yeah, and Kel insists that's unique.
Unique. In comes Chris, who greets the gang by saying, "What's the haps?"
And they look at each other and for the first time this season say, "Haps." So yeah, we haven't heard that one in a bit. They're kind of questioning Chris's emphasis.
Especially together.
Oh yeah, not the first time this season. They also did sassing. They're soon going to start doing it continuously every episode.
And I can't wait.
Yeah, so Chris replies, "Must you always make fun of me?" There's a pause and yes.
Yep.
So Chris is a bit of a Janet in a way.
He's a bit of a Janet, but he's definitely more lovable.
Oh yeah, everyone likes Chris. Contrary to what other shows may tell you.
He's my favorite guy. So Kel then shows off his painting to Chris, and Chris is impressed. He wants to know who the artist is, and Kel says, "Well, it's me."
And Chris says, "I always thought you were talentless."
Kel goes, "Thanks," and they dap each other up, give each other a little high five, and it's just good.
Which is good because I thought it was weird because I saw our beloved trio wrote this episode. However, Kel's a little bit out of his. He's not as stupid as he sometimes is.
Yeah, he seems. That's what I was gonna say. He seems very mature this episode, very refined.
Maybe that's his artist coming out. His
Ah,
artist personality is kind of taken over.
But maybe it's his artist personality is just a little bit too out there, and Kenan feels like he's losing control of him. So he wants to start to channel that, but we'll get there in a second. I'm keeping on our philosophical takes on these episodes.
Yeah. Well, there's two things I want to point out in the background of Rigby's here. Number one is there's a couple patrons at Rigby's right now. It's not as empty as maybe season 1.
Yeah. Oh, maybe they're doing better.
Well, one guy he's just got a can. I couldn't tell what the can was. It's blue, it's got a yellow lid, and he's just like looking at it and comparing it to other things on the shelf throughout this entire scene.
Just other items that aren't. Yeah, I see him. He's got like a box.
Yeah, he looks at the box, then he puts the box back, and it's...
Well, Adam, this goes back to our grocery store intro, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people used to not have the option to choose. The grocery clerk used to just pick everything for them.
Good for him embracing his decisions.
He is doing a good job of making decisions difficult.
Another thing I want to point out is that this Rigby set has changed in a way that the doors are reversed. And a lot of the time, like the posters on it that said that, like, pasta for like $1.89 or whatever.
Right.
Those were like they were backwards because they were facing outside of the store. Mm-hmm. Now they're inside.
Yeah, that would make sense if the doors were like propped open, but I don't even know if they are.
Yeah, so I think at some point the set was like taken apart and put together wrong.
Oh, I don't know about that. No, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Maybe they just needed more stuff over there.
Yeah, it could be.
I don't know. I think Chris knows what he's doing.
Through those doors enters a woman who we later learn is named Helen.
Yep. So Helen is a tall woman. She has blonde hair, and she immediately notices the painting that's in Kel's hands.
Yeah, he describes it as a sunset fun set, and she thinks it's learning that it's his painting and his to sell. She wants to make him an offer and purchase it for her art show.
So she offers Kel $300.
Done, and done.
And Kel is just blown away that his painting sold for $300, and so is Kenan and Chris. It's a pretty big deal.
That's a lot of scratch.
Yeah,
that's a whole bomb fine.
Oh my god.
or half a jeweler's store ceiling.
Or international affairs spoiled from the prince of what I don't.
So yeah, she explains that she works at an art gallery and would like to auction the painting to hopefully get more money.
And Kenan's like, well, you're gonna get even more money for that? And he's basically walking over to Kel and like, hey, let's go to this art gallery to see what happens.
She invites them Saturday nights to the Art One Gallery on 3rd Street.
Yep, and so that's pretty much the end of the scene, right?
Yeah, that pretty much we're off to the art show.
Yep, so fast forward, and here we are. We are in a nice little like mini amphitheater type thing.
Oh yeah. Oh well, it's like there's the art classroom and now the art like studio. I'm sorry, the gallery set.
Yep, yeah.
Where the auction's taking place.
Again, we're starting to see a lot more scenes in Kenan and Kel. Season 1 must have gotten a pretty good contract to come back. Because we're seeing some good stuff.
Every episode we're seeing new sets.
Yeah, and it's really, really good. It keeps it fresh. Anyway, so on stage is an easel with some paintings on it. The auctioneer, the paint mover, like the guy who moves the paintings, who's very happy. And
yeah, he's very foppish.
Foppish.
Yeah, he's definitely got this kind of dandy brown jacket with like a leopard print collar thing going on.
Yep. And then our friend with the blonde hair is there too. And
yes.
So the first painting up for auction, and Kenan and Kel, by the way, are in the front row, not dressed like they should be dressed for an event like this. They're just wearing like what they normally wear, bright colors and backwards hats and all that. And then the first painting is a painting of a sad turtle.
And it looks very like cartoon style.
Yep, almost like Kenan could have painted it.
Yeah, like a piece of clip art almost. But yeah, they the bidding starts at $500, and those bids start to happen.
And it doesn't stop there, people. $700.
Yeah, the $700 bid is made by Kel, who really wants that turtle painting.
He really wants it, and then Kenan is like, Kel, you don't have $700 to spend on unhappy swamp creatures.
Which is a good line.
Really good line. Well, Kel's desire for this painting doesn't go away. He keeps trying to bid.
Yeah, and as you know, in an auction scene, it's the classic back and forth. Other people keep bidding, and Kel keeps going up with money he doesn't have.
Kel keeps going up on his own bid. If I'm
Yeah.
not mistaken, it's up to $1,000, and then he moves it up to $1,500.
Yeah. So, but all those numbers are trumped by Mr. Waldorf Kensington, an esteemed old man.
Very rich old man, and he says that he would like this turtle painting for $5,000.
Yeah, just far and beyond all the other amounts.
Now, actually, we're about to get another amount from Kel. But Kenan is quick to stifle that. He does not want Kel to spend the $5,000 or $6,000 that he knows he doesn't have.
Yeah, no, it's great too because he's trying to bid, and Kenan's like on top of him, making him stop. And the auctioneer's like pointing at them. Is that a bid? Is that a bid? And it's really a fun escalation. No, he's just having spasms.
Yep. So, anyways, Mr. Kensington wins that bid. And then next painting up is Mr. Kimball's.
Yes. Cal Kimball's, Sunset Funset. And bidding begins at $500 and quickly escalates incredibly.
Yes, but before that, Kenan and Cal stand up, and they make very clear that Cal is the artist.
Well, I don't know how clear that is. They start cheering.
Oh, okay.
For the painting, and then Helen like kind of shushes them.
Okay, I might have missed a step.
Shouts at them to stop.
Right.
But yeah, I'm sure you can infer that it's a valuable. It's their painting.
Yep. So, anyways, the auctioneer says it's very sun-setting, very fun setting, and then our friend in the brown jacket says that it's a scrumptious painting.
Yes, $500 is the first bid. Then it's $1,000. It keeps going and going. Next thing you know, it's $5,000, and Kenan and Cal are baffled that Cal's painting's worth that much.
But it doesn't stop there.
No, $10,000, $15,000,
$20,000, and then.
Well, I want to say that $20,000 is the bet by the guy right behind them, and Kenan like reaches around and like slaps his leg.
I didn't notice that. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, what was that? He was like swatting him.
Yeah, he's like in disbelief. He's like, "Good job, man! You're paying that much for this painting."
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
But yeah, no. Go ahead. What happens next?
Well, Mr. Waldorf Kensington shows up, raises his hand. He says he would like to buy that painting for $50,000.
Yeah, it is just this art show is just everyone to watch Mr. Kensington like kind of flex his muscles.
Yep, his muscles at
to flaunt his incredible wealth.
And he's the only one buying any paintings.
Yeah, right. By going like 50% higher than any other like bid price.
Just showing off, Mr. Kensington. Anyways, it's sold for $50,000. Of course, nobody's going to pay more than that. And Kenan and Kel are hysterical.
They are fanning themselves.
Yep, they can't believe that this is happening. He jumps on Kenan's lap, and they start fanning themselves, and they're just freaking out. Meanwhile, that's the end of the art show. Everybody else gets up and leaves. And they're
just two paintings.
They're freaking out. Kenan is quick to grab Kel, run to the back corner of the room, and say his famous line, "Do you know what this means?"
Yeah, more popular than Sad Turtle.
Yep, and Kenan is quick to find a way to somehow exploit Kel's creative, artistic genius.
I don't know how great Kenan is in math class, but when it comes to money, he very quickly puts the things together that if Kel paints 10 more of that, that's $500,000.
Kenan is ready to be a $500,000. He makes this business plan with Kel where, because he's his manager, he's going to get half of it. And this is their plan now. They're going to go with it.
And right before we cut to commercial, Kel wants to celebrate with hors d'oeuvres, but Kenan says, "No way, we got to get right to painting."
Yeah, once we have this money, we can buy our own snack factory.
Yeah, so it's very... that's a little telling of where the episode's about to go.
Yeah, might I say, this is one of Kenan's... I know he's kind of exploiting Kel, but it's one of Kenan's more honest plots to make money. I mean, Kenan and Kel together. Because they're doing something, right? They're, actually creating something that might be valuable to some people. They're not just trying to, scheme.
This is some good... this is a good redemption for the... for the mental telepathy episode.
Yeah.
Where Kenan just wants to trick everybody and get rich quick. This one, it's a get rich quick plan, sure, but it's a, they just found the value in thing, now they're exploiting that loophole. I'm sure we would do the same thing.
They're like a good American capitalists.
Yeah, right. Yes. So our next scene is back in the Rockmore household.
Kel is alone in the family room painting, and Mr. and Mrs. Rockmore come in and wonder what he's doing there all by himself painting.
He explains that he's painting with Kenan, and he has a new work to show them.
Yeah, so he flips around the painting that he's working on, called Nightmare of Evil. And
Yes.
it is very clearly a portrait of Mr. Rockmore.
Yeah, he's like kind of like wearing a black turtleneck in the corner of a green room.
It's very scary.
It is.
It's really scary.
And Roger has 3 great lines here. The first one is, he's like, "That's me."
Go ahead, you say the other ones. I don't have them down.
Cheryl says, "Are you sure?" And he says, "A man can recognize his own head, Cheryl." And he gets mad at Kel, to which Kel says his new catchphrase, 3rd episode in a row. Do you know what that is?
I do not.
Well.
Yeah, that's pretty much how this episode's going. It's like Kel is like an artist.
Keenan's parents go upstairs, and Roger's last line is, "A man shouldn't be painted as a nightmare of evil in his own home, Cheryl."
Never has that occurred on a sitcom before, let alone a Nickelodeon show.
Yeah, well, I gotta say that I like that the different ways that Kel has been torturing Roger.
It's almost like he knows that Mr. Rockmore doesn't like him, and that's why he's doing it, right? Self-fulfilling prophecy.
It's like a it's a cold war between them.
Yeah.
where they just keep stockpiling hatred for each other.
Well, I mean, last episode, Mr. Rockmore was encouraging Kenan to torment Kel so that he would lose the orange soda bet. So maybe this is like back and forth.
Sometimes he gets physically damaged by Kel. This episode is definitely more emotional damage.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
So, okay, let's see. We have Kenan. I love this moment. Kenan comes back into his house, and what does he have?
Well, he has a whole bunch of art supplies.
And he brings them in a shopping cart.
Oh my god, I just realized that.
He wheels a shopping cart into his living room.
But not only does he have art supplies, Adam, he also has a bologna sandwich for Kel, which he is going to allow him to eat after the next 10 paintings are painted.
Yeah, he already took a bite out of it, too.
And Kel's pretty upset by that.
Yeah, but he's got easels, paints, brushes, all kinds of stuff, which is, I think there's an important undercurrent here, is that art supplies are not cheap.
Well, that's the truth.
And I don't, that wasn't expressed directly in the episode, but I want to say that I feel like Kel's $300 was like an investment towards all these other supplies.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, in some way or another. This isn't coming out of Kenan's pockets.
No. I bet they filmed that and cut it out.
Yeah.
That would have flown seamlessly. But yeah, anyways, Kenan says, yeah, come on, Kel. The world is waiting on great art, and my bank account is waiting on $500,000. So then there's this great montage of
painting like the wind, as he's encouraged to do. Yeah, the accordion music montage.
The accordion music ties it all together. Kel is just painting, and he's absolutely miserable. Meanwhile, Kenan is just over there, kind of just wasting time. He's making a house of cards. He's just hanging out, and Kel is working.
I want to say that house of cards is really underlooked. Someone did that. They got like a card stacker and brought him onto the set to make it look like Kenan was doing it.
Or did they?
Oh yeah, it could be Kenan. I have no proof one way or the other.
Yeah, but this is just a great moment. Yeah, and it's a really good montage. And the question has to be asked, why does Kel have to paint all the paintings at once? And why do they need to do it? Why can't they do it like one painting a week? And also, it takes a long time to do paint, like to make art. You can't just like...
Yeah. Oh, it's literally called Get Rich Quick for a reason.
Yep.
Yeah, so Kenan doesn't care about the quality of the paintings. He just wants them to, and apparently the quality of the paintings isn't what's in question later in the episode either.
No, they look good.
It's almost a red herring. Like, this scene ends with Cal saying, like, "What if they don't like my paintings?"
Right.
And yeah, so it's a red herring. It doesn't really come up. It's avoided.
Yep.
That night, Kenan goes up to sleep, and Cal presumably sleeps down there, standing up in front of the easel.
We have paint in hand and everything. Kenan comes down, wakes him up. He finished, and Kenan has phone calls to make, so he pulls out a cell phone. No, it's not a cell phone. It's the home phone. It's just right there. I'm seeing it now.
Yeah, I want to say it's a different home phone than it's been like the past 4 times.
Yeah, they got a green phone now. I don't know why they made phones green. I mean, that doesn't go with anything.
Yeah, it's very weird. But then again, it's not like a neon green, at least.
Right.
So what newspaper does Kenan call?
I don't know.
He calls the Chicago Fun Times newspaper.
Oh, that's a great newspaper name.
Well, it's a parody, actually, of the Chicago Sun-Times.
Oh.
Yeah,
Nice catch.
It's a fun little Chicago joke for all you Chicagoites out there.
Kenan kind of looks like the sun in this scene with that orange and yellow checkered shirt.
Oh, yeah. Again, very odd commentary on him having a very similar palette of outfits.
Really, I don't know what they were thinking. They could have got some more of those, but they only have 2. Anyways, he basically tells them that there's going to be a major art auction at Rigby's.
On Friday.
And we find out of Rigby's address, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Did you write down?
I did. 909 Illinois Drive.
Yes. Not a Chicago address.
No.
By my look.
Nope.
I found a 909 Illinois street.
Yeah.
That was like a bookstore. But yeah, no. So that's the situation. Kenan presumably calls more art shows, but the funny thing is that he tells them that it's the show's on Friday, right?
Yep.
What? So. Kel rushed through painting 10 paintings, and they still had at least a day to spare. Just Kenan works him like a hound for no reason.
Is it classic capitalist, Adam?
Yeah.
Not even capitalist, industrialist. He is just exploiting this niche market.
I think you've stumbled across the theme of this episode about the industrial exploitation of labor.
Oh, yep.
As soon as they discover something with value, then immediately that value is exploited.
And who are they trying to sell to? The richest man in the room.
Yeah, right.
Right? That's who fuels their, the labor of these poor teenagers is transformed into just paint and art for this rich old man.
Yeah, well, as we go into the art show, it becomes clear that Kenan's only interested in the 1% there.
He's
Mr. Kensington,
only
the rich of the
interested
rich.
in Mr. Kensington.
Yeah.
So, anyways, we're in Rigby's. It's the night of the art show. Kenan's wearing a shirt, a nice yellow button-down shirt with a suit jacket. Looks like a tuxedo jacket.
Yeah, both him and Kel kind of get dressed up like halfway. They're not wearing full tuxedos or anything.
Yeah, but they're much more dressed up than before.
Yes.
And Kenan tells everybody who's waiting that the art show will begin in a couple minutes. For right now, you guys can grab some hors d'oeuvres. And they ask, where are the hors d'oeuvres? Kenan says, it's a grocery store. Just grab something. And Chris is not happy with that. But
no,
anyways.
Kenan sums up very well. He says, help yourselves to the shelves. And yeah, Chris is mad, but Kenan, trusts him that they're going to, make plenty of money back to repay him.
There's not many people there, by the way. There's only about 4 or 5 people. No, it's a little more. Yeah.
They're expecting 8 or 10 total art patrons. Kenan travels into the back of the room where Kel is nervously pacing back and forth.
Well, Kel makes it very clear that he's queasy. He does not feel comfortable auctioning off his paintings. He feels like he's going to get ridiculed for them.
And he's drinking a 2-liter of orange soda to calm himself.
Yeah, which, as we found out last week, may be symbolic of alcohol. We could.
Oh, whoa. I didn't even think about that. He's drinking orange soda to literally calm himself. no.
We could have a through line here, Adam.
Well, that's a really dark implication.
Yes, it is.
That after we exploited like his
Addiction.
his addiction for laughs last episode, that oh no. Let's not think about it.
We'll keep that on the down low. Maybe it'll come back in future episodes, but I really hope not.
But they're not alone back here. A fancy art lady has snuck into the back room.
She's wearing a like a suit, like a blue suit with this, you know, like a blue skirt, pantyhose, and heels, and she looks like she's pretty wealthy. And she tells Kenan and Kel that she will pay $20,000 for any one of these paintings back here.
And yeah, Kel is ecstatic that his paintings are worth that much. And he goes over, gives her a giant hug, lifts her up. But Kenan is not as friendly.
Kenan says that she has to wait until the auction begins, like period, point blank. Even though it's a lot of money, Kenan has his eyes set on that $50,000. He thinks for some reason Mr. Kensington is going to pay $50,000 for all 10 of Kel's paintings.
$500,000. Even though he bought like every painting at the last ARC show.
Well, all 2.
Yeah, all 2 of the paintings.
So he only spent $55,000 Adam.
That's true. But he's got his eye on the prize, and it's very. I would say that this is it's the same flaw that he had in the Tainting of the Screw episode, where he turned down $1 million settlement because his eye is on that prize of $10 million. So
I can't believe that happened. I forgot about like how grave that was.
Well, yeah, this whole episode is for them to, if everything works out perfectly, they'll get half about the amount of money that they were offered in the last one.
It's just like, what are they doing?
Yeah, but he turns her offer away. Kel's very upset about it, but Kenan insists that they're going to make more money at the actual auction.
Chris shows up into the back room, and he tells Kenan and Kel that Mr. Kensington has shown up.
They all return out to the front of Rigby's.
Kenan grabs Mr. Kensington's hand, kisses it, and then rubs it in.
Yeah, it's really funny. But before their interactions, really quick, I want to say there's a fun exchange here between Chris and the foppish art man.
What happens, Adam?
He's gloating about his outfit because Chris is pretty much wearing his like manager tie and shirt, but he's got some nice pants on. He says to the guy, my mother ironed my pants. And the guy kind of says, "Excellent," like kind of brushing him off.
Yeah, and like scoffing almost.
Sorry to pump the brakes on that.
But no, that was well deserved.
They are introducing Kel to Mr. Kensington.
We have a little confusion here because Kenan introduces him as Kel Kimball, and actually, before he introduces him, he calls him from across the store. He says, "Kel!" And it's like really loud, and everybody's like covering their ears. And then he says, "Wait, your name's Kel? I thought your name was Carl Kimball."
Yeah, so they have a back and forth, and yeah, Waldorf says, "I've been enjoying your paintings for 20 years." He says, "Are you not the Swedish painter Carl Kimball?" And
Kenan's jaw just drops open and starts to realize what's happening. And he's quick to jump in and say, "Oh, no, he's Carl Kimball. Yeah, we are Swedish. We are from," I don't even know if this is the order of the events that happens, but this happens.
No, yeah, that happens.
Okay. And then they fake accents, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're from Sweden, yes," and they start using Swedish accents, and then they start like tap dancing in synchronicity.
Mr. Kensington's not having it. He shouts, "This is not Swede talk."
Sees right through them.
And then in a horrible, again with swinging the big money to miss opportunities, Chris steps in. And he explains the situation, unfortunately. And he points out to Mr. Kensington, "Wait, you spent $50,000 thinking that this was Carl Kimball, and really it was Kel Kimball?" And he like laughs at him.
Yeah, he's like making fun of him. Chris, tries to exploit any chance he can get to make fun of somebody because he's made fun of all the time.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That happens to him continuously, so he forces on other people.
Yep. Well, everybody is very upset to hear this news, and meanwhile, like all the people there are
A gasp.
aware of this. Yeah, and they all get up and leave. As Mr. Kensington leaves, they follow him out.
Yeah, so Mr. Kensington, declares that he wants a refund on the painting that he got. Helen promises that reluctantly, and they all like everyone storms out in a huff. And as they do, they start like looting the shelves of Rigby's.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
They start like grabbing like bags of chips and boxes and a few things like that. That Chris like starts shouting after them.
They ask the lady in the blue outfit who offered them $20,000 if she's still ready to accept that or offer that, and she basically is like, "You're joking, right?"
Well, she says the same line that Chris says in an earlier episode.
"You'll get nothing and like it."
To which Kenan and Kel kind of stand there in their failed art gallery, start and begin crying and saying, "We got nothing."
Yep.
And we don't like it.
And that's the end of our episode. That it seemed very quick, which it was. As I'm realizing now.
Yeah, that's a good episode. If it doesn't, you're not like dragging through it.
No, but the episode itself was only like 20 minutes.
Yeah, right. The ending is a very long scene.
Oh, right.
And this is that amazing ending I want to talk about.
All right, let's jump into it.
Kenan and Kel. Kel is very upset with Kenan because of what he like forced him to do throughout the episode.
Yeah, and the fact that he didn't take the $20,000.
Kenan has a plan to how to get some money back. He goes behind the curtain, and what does he pull out?
The Nightmare of Evil.
Yes, the painting of Mr. Rockmore. And I don't know if you noticed, as he's like moving the frame around, the painting's like falling out.
Yeah, it's not very secure, and maybe it doesn't have to be.
No. So they to the studio audience, they start the bidding for the painting at $5,000. To which no one wants to bid that. They start to go down to different thousands.
4,000, 3,000.
Well, did you catch what Kenan says for the $3,000 bid?
Man, this is humiliating. Is that it?
No, that's what Kel shouts.
Oh, what does Kenan say?
Kenan says he's like starts to like stutter and stuff like that. He's like $3,000 and a big tin of biscuits. and literally he and Kel's like start laughing. Like they start like cracking at that. But yeah, then Kel shouts, "This is humiliating."
Yeah, I mean, that's the worst auction in the world. It's going the wrong way.
Yeah, but and to put them out of their misery, someone from the audience makes an offer.
Yep, well, Kenan says $1,000, and he raises his hand. And they're like, "You're going to take it for $1,000?" He says, "I'll give you $10 for it."
Yep, and they look at each other and like, "Yeah, all right, fine." He comes up, and he proceeds. What does he do?
He takes the painting, and he takes the painting out of the frame, and then he gives the painting back to them and says that he just wanted the frame.
Yep, and as he walks away, Kel shouts, "Oh, my ego!"
Kenan, meanwhile, is holding the painting in his left hand, and he's just punching it. He's punching his dad's face.
Yeah, he's just like, forget this, and he tries to punch through it, and he can't. I don't know if he was supposed to.
It's just not happening.
Yeah, it's not happening, and they start cracking up some more. He throws it aside, and tells Kel about his next plan. What does it involve?
900 hard-boiled eggs, a slingshot, and a chainsaw.
Yep. And meet me on the roof. Come on, Tiddlywink.
Kenan, Tiddlywink. Why are we going on the roof? Kenan.
Eggs make me burp.
Eggs make me burp. And then
Oh yeah, it's not. They have. It's not over, folks.
We have what may be the greatest Cal Kimball moment that we've ever seen.
Yeah, and so my theory is that even though they cracked and like broke throughout this the filming of this ending, they kept it for this like singular moment. Because Kel, instead of doing the regular here it goes, he explodes in dancing.
He goes, "Oh," and then he lifts up his like pants kind of so you can see his white socks, and he just starts like almost like tap dancing and then break dancing, and he goes down into a split, and then he starts jumping around and he touches his toes, and he's just like thrusting and doing the thing with the hands on the knees, and it's like
a good like 30-second dance.
Yeah, it's exceptional.
Yeah, and then he ends with "Here it goes," and after that, just huge display. He casually just walks off.
Casually walks off, and the audience is erupting.
The audience is voracious.
Yeah, they loved it. They loved every second of it.
Yeah, they are in you can even see because every episode ends with a shot of the stage, and you see audience like silhouetted in front of it, and all of their arms are just like raised and cheering.
Yeah, it was definitely one of their one of the best intros they've ever seen, or outros.
Yeah, and that's the episode.
That's it, folks.
Oh man, but that was it's weird that the climax of the episode wasn't the art show. That fizzled out. The climax was like out in front of the curtains.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, so we I would like to ask you a question of whose fault is this episode's situation, Kenan or Kel?
It's Kenan. Sorry, Kenan's fault.
Yeah, absolute. No question here, and I'm happy that now, as we've gotten further in the season, it's less and less debated.
Yeah, no, this is definitely Kenan's fault. But I do have to say, if it wasn't for Kenan, they wouldn't have been offered $20,000.
Yes, but if it wasn't for Kenan, also turned down the $20,000 that Kel would have said yes to.
Definitely Kenan's fault.
Yeah, and to be fair, even if they did sell it for $20,000, they would probably want to be paid back in the same way that Mr. Kensington was.
Yeah, but what I'm wondering is why, like the Helen, when she bought the painting for $300, she had to have known that wasn't Carl Kimball.
No, she didn't. So she and it's not. She just didn't know why Mr. Kensington was paying that much.
I suppose, but like, don't you think he would have confirmed before spending that much money on?
Yeah. No,
Anyways, it's just a little silly, but
that is a plot hole, which it's worth noting.
Yeah.
But yeah, we learned a couple things about some people in this episode, notably that Kel has a talent for art.
And Rigby's is on 909 Illinois Drive.
Correct. And yeah, Kel, Chris had his pants ironed by his mom. I just thought it was a funny gag.
His mom, who doesn't have teeth, has to have her toes scraped, and yeah.
Yeah. There's one other fun fact that I have here. I tried to count all 10 paintings that we see. I only saw 9 of them. I think one was off screen. But these are the lists of them that I saw. So we have Nightmare of Evil. There's a desert scene, a lake scene, a river through a city, autumnal forest, a river on the outskirts of a city, a city scene, an ocean, and a mesa.
Oh wow!
So yeah, a lot of landscapes. So that seems to be Kel's forte. No still art or still life or anything like that.
Very beautiful, if I may say so myself.
Yeah, I would definitely. Of all the paintings that you saw, would you have any in your own apartment or your own place?
I like the desert one.
Yeah. Even from when I was like a little kid, I used to think that those like the clouds in that one are like UFOs. For some reason, they always like looked that way to me, but I'm always watching like lower definition.
Well, maybe they are. Maybe Kel was ahead of his time.
Okay, let's get into our ratings here. So on IMDb, this episode has it has a 7.2, same grade as the last episode. Who Loves Orange Soda, which it's ranked 46 out of 62, very low on the list. Which I think is weird that it has the same rating as last week, because I thought it was definitely improved.
Definitely improved, funnier, I think. More like
better pacing.
Yeah. Although I felt a little unsatisfied at the end. I think out of 10 bottles of orange soda, I think I would give this one. I wanted to say 7, but I'm thinking 6.5. It was better than last week. I liked it a lot, and 6.5 isn't like a bad episode.
No,
I want to be fair. I don't just want to give all the good ones all the same rating.
Sure,
but I'm trying to be a little more fair. But yeah, 6.5, almost a 7.
Right. Yeah, I felt similarly. So I was giving it like a 7 on my first watch. After I kind of saw in full detail that finale. I don't know, something in me, I want to give it a 7.5. I may change that in the future.
Okay.
But yeah, 7.5 bottles for me.
Well, the ending was pretty good. I should raise mine, but we'll see. See if I.
That's what the season wrap up is all for.
That's right.
Before we go here, I would like to share with everyone a piece of fan mail that we got.
All right, let's hear it.
This letter is from Nathan L., and he writes, "Hey guys, I'm really enjoying listening to the reviews of each episode from Season 1. Remembering episodes, especially the funny moments, brings so much nostalgia. Really looking forward to Season 2. Keep up the good work." So, thank you, Nathan. I'm really touched to hear that people can use our show to look back on their own youth and time watching the program.
I love that you find this very nostalgic. I love that you are listening. I love that people are listening to this, especially the people in Danville, Virginia, which are still our greatest base. Maybe that's where you're from, Nathan. Maybe not. But anyways, thank you, and you have a great last name because it begins with L.
Right. So if you want to send us a piece of fan mail like Nathan did, you can send us an email at KenanCalPodcast@gmail.com. So, Aaron, do you know what the next episode of Kenan and Kel is all about?
That's funny. I have no idea. I've been off this season. These Amazon things are messing me up.
Yeah, it's all over the place because that one aired in November, and this next one's back to October. So this episode is called "A Star Is Peeved."
Oh.
And it's about a movie that gets filmed in Rigsby's grocery store.
Wow.
Yeah.
Almost like Safe and Sorry.
A little bit like that. Well, we'll discover if this is a worthwhile episode or not next time.
Written by Savage Steve Holland and directed by Ken Sizier.
Yeah, Savage Steve Holland has not written any episodes yet, but he goes on to become a prolific writer of Kenan and Kel.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Savage Steve.
That's a pretty crazy name, Savage Steve.
Love it. I love it.
We'll check out Savage Steve's work next episode with A Star Is Peeved. Talk to you guys later.
Oh, here it goes. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Kenan and Kel with Adam and Aaron. If you want to stay in touch, send us an email at KenanCalPodcast@gmail.com, or you can send us a voice message at anchor.fm/KenanCalPodcast. Our social media accounts are all at KenanCalPodcast. That's Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Thanks, everybody.